You're watching F-13 Gaming. Six years ago, I found what I thought was one of the best RPGs of the time. Little did I know that it was part of a greater series that spanned across 3 story arcs and had been around for nearly 15 years. It was in a couple years later that I would get my hands on this series and get to really enjoy what all it had to offer. And then, after finding this series from my childhood that I hadn't visited in nearly 25 years, complete with new installments, and by the same company, I knew then I couldn't play just one. I had to play and conquer both of them and represent not only myself, but the project that I hold so dear, and complete the 2 gaming series that I had desired to play so long ago. Okay, there we go. Now we got audio. Okay, and my camera's shot. Let me reset that. Okay, I gotta unplug it. Okay, there we go. This is sadly something that happens whenever you set up a whole new studio for a whole nother channel. But I think we're good now. I should have audio. So, yeah, welcome to F-13 Gaming. This is going to be an ongoing series that I plan on doing. As if you saw the intro, I have 15 games to get through 2 series. I've been an avid gamer for most of my life. Started back when I was 6 years old, and my first game was Legend of Zelda and Dragon Warrior 2 on the NES. And I've kind of outgrown my little 6-year-old self, and I've matured into a little bit more of a hardcore gamer, specifically in the JRPG area, and that is why we are going to be going through the series that I have. So let's get one order of business out of the way before we launch our first game, and that is the ever important legal disclosure, mainly because, well, I am part of the F-13 project. I gotta not only protect myself, but the project as well. So take a quick listen, and then we'll launch our first game. This is a reminder that all games, references, and music is owned and used courtesy of Nihon Falcom, and neither the player nor F-13 have any rights to these games. All games being played on stream are rated T for Teen by the ESRB, rated 12 plus by PEGI, and rated B age 12 plus by CERO. From mild to intense fantasy violence, strong adult language, and some language may be more intense on Japanese to English translated games. From mild adult-oriented themes and references, some drug and alcoholic references, and for blood references and themes. As a result, some game scenes and content may be inappropriate for some viewers, so viewer and parental discretion is advised. Also, if you enjoy these games, be sure to purchase these games, as all games are being played on a legal copy except for Japanese to English translated games, in which they are being played on an emulator due to the English past translations applied to those games. With that aside, enjoy the games and enjoy watching F-13 Gaming. Okay, looks like I've still got some audio issues going on. Okay, maybe I don't. No, I'm feeding back in through myself. That's a problem. Okay, why is this feeding back on itself? This is weird. Well, while I figure out the audio issues, let's go ahead and get our first game launched. Okay. Okay, so it does look like everything is working here. So, but yes, this is the first game that we're going to start with. It is Ys Origins. It is technically the 6th game in the series that was debuted. It is the 2nd game that runs off of the Ys 3 battle engine, which we will see that battle engine later on. But this is going to be the first one we're going to start with. Is Ys Origin 2006-2012 for Nihon Falcom. And we will start with 3 characters for this game, so we will have to play this one through 3 times. We have Unica Tova, who's our first character we will start with. We will get to Hugo Fact later on. And before I get too far in, let me go through the rules for this. There is a rule set for this. We're going to be playing through 2 sets of series. We'll be starting with the ease side of things. Then we'll be going into the trail side. But now here are some rules that I have in place for this series to make it a little bit more interesting. First rule, I'm not using any cheating devices, and I can keep the background music on here right quick while I go over these. But no cheating devices are going to be used during these playthroughs. Everything is going to be strictly off of a controller, a keyboard of some sort. Guides will be allowed because once we get over into the Trails series, a lot of it's going to be quest based, and I'm going to have to know where the quests are so I don't miss anything. So the next one is downloadable content. Maybe certain games do have some downloadable content mixed into it, so those will be allowed to be utilized to make my gameplay a little bit more enjoyable. Now comes the fun part for you, the viewers. Just to make this a little bit more interesting, if I have any death of any character on any game, I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I will make a donation to the project. So if you want to see Nathan make a US tour, yeah, wish for me to die a lot, because all that money is going to go into the project. And I may actually add some extra donations, such as if I know there's an area that I'm going to really suck at, I may do a donation to get past that section as an extra bonus. Once we get into the Trails series, that's where the quest points will be introduced. But here's where you, the viewers, can have fun. Right now, the gaming channel is at 120 subscribers. If you guys get to 500 subscribers before this series is done, 500 subscribers on air during a game, yes, I will publicly humiliate myself, and I will sing Nathan Foy's Here and Now on air. That's no joke, no lie. I will do that. At 750 subscribers, I do have one more game in my back pocket, which will go into the gaming list. That will be at the very end of all of these. The third one is 1,000 subscribers. If we get to 1,000 subscribers during this series, whoever that 1,000th subscriber is will get one item of their choice off of the Force 13 store, free of charge. It'll be on my dime. So that's the stakes for this series, and this is all on the heels of Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 3 coming out in November. So there's a lot of gameplay to be had, and this is something that I enjoy doing when I'm not doing stuff on the main channel for Force 13. If I'm not doing US updates or live streams for the US, this is kind of what I do when I'm not working. I am a gamer, so this is what I like having fun doing. So that aside, let's get back into the game room and let's get our first game underway. Oh, and one other rule, all games will be played on normal difficulty just to have an even playing field. So we're going to have about 4 minutes of opening cutscenes, and then we will get right into this game. And I would love to know who's on the US channel, because I see them saying dab on that, so kudos whoever's on the Force 13 US channel. And anybody that is on one of the main channel hubs does have moderator powers, and yes, your stuff will come up on screen, as I do have the chats linked and integrated, so get ready to troll me if I really utterly screw up bad. But we got about 3 minutes of opening cutscenes, so we'll let this go through. Oh, I got 2 people on the channels. Oh, God. Let's see here. US channel and on the main channel. Well, if I know our Force 13 members as well as I do, a few of them knew that I was going to be launching this series. I'm going to say on US is probably Force 13 US is Thomas Schwent. Oh, same person? Yeah, I'm going to guess it's Thomas then on both channels.
Mais soudain, un désastre frappa. Beaucoup de monstres démoniques
But then again, we had.
apparurent
Oh, it's
et ont
not.
commencé à envahir.
I can't see our own Nathan
Les
Foy being on
forces
both
diaboliques
channels at the same time. I
tentaient
can't see
de
that.
ravager les terres, mais tous les habitants sont sauvés dans la trentaine de secondes.
I
On
wonder.
aurait dit
Is it
que
Grandpa
fin
David on both of them? Is Grandpa David Loop-de-Loops on both
au moins
of them?
salvatrice de la ruine,
I don't know.
car
I
elle
guess I'll
vouloir
never know because I'm going to be busy busting through 25 floors of
mais
dungeon gameplay.
aussitôt après ces soulagements fugitifs, les démons ont construit une autre tour et
He's
une
not
nouvelle
capable of running
à
2
l'assaut
moderation channels.
en direction du sanctuaire.
Then I don't know. It'll have to. I guess it's going to stay a mystery
Une fois
then.
retombé, pire encore,
But the goal tonight's stream is I'm going to run about 2 hours, or I'm going to get through the first 2 dungeon levels, which is going to be Wailing Blue and the Water Prison, which are the first 2 levels. Depending how quick I clear through those, I may go a little bit further. And it looks like we got more of our team coming in. That is Ethan on there. What's up, Ethan? Glad you could join earlier, join the game room. And I posted about you earlier in Discord. I'm trying to remember how long ago I did. That's alright, it can stay a mystery. But now we got the first movie opening of the game, and the music for this is so good. I wish they would have actually used this in the actual final levels of the game, but this is a great opening, so I'll just sit back and let you guys listen. So already out of the gate we get our first plot twist. One more little cutscene, and we'll actually go through a little bit of the tutorial. And yes, we will be playing as Unica Tova, who is a knight that cannot use magic. Wait till we actually get into the combat, Ethan, then it'll really start coming together. And the reason why we gotta play this 3 times is there are 3 characters, and they all are going to be going through the same dungeon, but they're going to have different events happening in concert with each other. So that's why we're going to be doing this 3 times. This will be roughly about 15 to 17 hours of gameplay to complete this particular game. And since everybody got scattered, we start with our main character for this run. And to me, she's really adorable. To my wife, she is her favorite character out of the 3 for this game. So we will be starting out with Unica Tova. And if anybody is familiar with the gaming lore for this series, this particular installment takes place 700 years before the first game. Now, the first game was put out by Nihon Falcom in 1987. This game obviously is about 19 years later. It did come out on handhelds, PSP, PS Vita, and then it was ported over to places like the PC, and is on the PlayStation Store for the PS4. So you can always get your hand on this. It's about 20 bucks. This is the PC version, and the reason why I'm running, I do have the PS4 version, but the reason why I'm running this on the PC version is I think the UI looks a little bit cleaner on the PC version. That, and once we actually start getting into the combat, which we'll get into that in the first 2 or 3 floors, I'll pick up an item, and I'll be able to chain my special item and regular attacks together, and you'll see that once we get into the first couple boss fights. But what Unica is talking to is the Rota Tree. There's 2 in the Realm of Ease in this particular area. This is the older brother. The character Hugo Fact, which we will play on the second playthrough, will be conversing with the younger brother. And as we go through the floors, there will be some backstories unveiled as to what's happened with this particular realm. And the intro kind of introduced it a little bit. Now, the 2 characters that everybody is looking after is what they call the goddesses, Rena and... Dang, I'm getting their names messed up already. Fina and Rhea. There we go. It's been a while since I've played this, so I've lost a little bit of my knowledge on this. But there is our dungeon that we will be climbing. We will start at the first floor, and we will be working our way up top. And there, the communication with the Rota Tree is rudely disrupted. So Unica's got no choice but to go to the tower. And just to get a little bit more backstory on this game, this is actually the third game that was developed off of the Battle Engine. The other two games was Ys 3 Oath of Felghana, which we will be playing later on, and Ys 6 Ark and Depression, which was the first one that used this particular Battle Engine, and it was refined for Ys 3, and then refined a little bit more for Ys Origin. So that's just a little bit of history of the Battle Engine and the graphics. But here we go, right into the tower. And the one thing you'll notice with Nihon Falcom, and this is across all of their games, they are amazing at world building. And we'll start off with a little quick tutorial of combat, how to attack and how to move. And now we're going to take out our first round of baddies. And if 3 is good, 6 will be better. Now we get introduced to our boost mode, which that is a very nice skill. You'll see me utilize that in some areas, especially get out of jams. So we'll go and round them all up. And now the drops is spirit points or SP, and that is going to be very essential to collect as many of those as we can, as we will need those to not only upgrade our gear, but to unlock other special perks and buffs along the way. And right off the bat, we get the first curveball where they talk about Solomon's Shrine. That is where the goddesses and the exploratory party came from. And that will be revealed a little bit more as we go through the story. But that is the one difference with Unica. She doesn't use any magic, but she carries around a big axe. So yeah, she gets to hack up everything Paul Bunyan style. And for any background noise, I do apologize. I on my Yeti microphone, as most of the 413 team knows, I do have a very nice microphone. It just picks up everything. But with this being on the gaming channel and not on like the US channel or the main channel, I'm going to be a little bit more relaxed on how much background distortion comes into play. It just kind of makes things a little interesting. So Shinon is going to send Dino out to look for the rest of the search party. And we will get our first item of the game. And normally I would be burning through the dialogue, but for the viewers, I'm going a little slow for you guys, so you guys can keep up with what's going on. And welcome, Salad Meteorology, to the game room. Yeah, this, if you're not really big into JRPGs or have not heard of the company Nihon Falcom, this may be a game that you have never seen before. In fact, Nihon's been around just about 35 years, and they're a very small company in Japan. But they've been getting a lot of notoriety about the last 7 or 8 years with some of their titles. This was one of them that really got big. The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel, which we will be covering later on in the series. That will be another one that we'll be looking at. And welcome to Don't Blink in the game room there. Now, what Eolia gave us is the Leela Shell. That is kind of the way for the team to communicate with Unica, and that is also going to be our way of getting any hints if we get stuck. Thankfully, I've ran this game a few times, so I have a pretty good idea of where everything's at, but there will be some situational moments where we will get called back with the Leela Shell. I think I mentioned you already, I think. Unless I mispronounced it. It looks like it's Don't Blink. If I'm mispronouncing it, let me know. Alright, so now that we have a crystal in hand, we get a quick heal. And we'll actually come over to the goddess statue so you guys can see what I mean. Accepting divine blessings. Yeah, there's all our buffs and ways to increase our armor. And yeah, some of them do take a lot of SP, so we will cancel that for now. We do have 63 SP, but we're going to be building up as we go through the first part of the dungeon, happily called the Wailing Blue. So now our quest begins. And I probably won't say too much in certain areas, especially if I get into a couple tense areas. Also, while we're picking up SP, there will be little potions that drop. Those are temporary buffs that will last as long as we keep them going. Ooh, a couple nice defense cuts there. And there we go. Level up, and we're at level 2 already. Now this guy here, if you see him blinking, that means it's an objective for something within the area. They usually hit just a little bit harder than the normal mobs that you're fighting. And there we go. We take out the objective, and we get our first treasure chest of the game. Which is Celestian Panacea. We're actually going to use that right off the bat. Raises 8 HP. Now, the amount of HP that you get from the Celestian Panacea does vary depending on the difficulty. On normal, it is 3 HP. On easy, it is 5 HP. Hard is 2. And then Nightmare, you only get 1 HP from them. So, it does not bode well if you only do that. So, we got 3 new objectives here. And we'll go ham on them just to get rid of them quick. There's 1, 2, and 3 dispatched. And we have enough for our first item buff, but we were going to wait and we're going to keep progressing. Holy Artifact of Ease. We now have the Cerulean Flabellum, which that is going to be the first item that will allow us to use some kind of magical skills and power. And each character as we go will pick up this item and they'll get a different ability based on the character type. So now that we have it, let's try it out. Something else that skill does is it allows you to kind of fly across gaps that you normally wouldn't be able to. Plus, certain monsters have certain resistances to those skills, so they will be utilized to dispatch those very quickly. Jumped off the ledge. And right now our walking speed is about as fast as it's going to get until we get up into the next part of the dungeons. I've got to wait for my magic to recover. There we go, and cleared the gap. Locked door up there. We'll be able to come back a little bit later for that. There we go. Level 3 now. And by the end of the game, we're going to be right about level 50. Get pulled into a trap there. We have our crystal. We saw one of those statues before. And there we go. Now, not only can we also get our buffs there, but we can also save there. And we will be using those. We'll get our first save here while we're at it. And you see we went from the 2nd floor to the 4th floor. And there is a passageway back there. We're actually missing an item to get there. So we gotta go south first and we'll backtrack. And now we have a new enemy there. We'll dispatch those right quick. And there's that skill and melee attack combo I was talking about, which you can't do on the PS4 version, but since I have my key bindings very close to each other, I can do it here. And 4th level. Also, something else that's also helping a little bit is below my buffs, you can see it blinking different colors. That's my XP rate. As long as I get more than 100 hits in a row while that's going, that also increases my rate of XP that I pick up, which is why I'm leveling at a fairly decent rate. Another skill combo there. sneak up on me there. I'll worry about coming back after him just a little bit later. Ah, and overshot it. Getting a good amount of SP, which we will need. Here in a little bit later, we will get some upgrades going. And not only am I getting SP from the drops, but each mob also has a certain amount of SP as well, so that's adding up very well. We will actually take a certain perk once we get a little bit further up that will actually allow us to get a little bit more SP at a much quicker rate. And we pick up another item called a Rotafruit. Now you'll see what the Rotafruit is used here in a little bit. Take the last baddie out there. And we're going to go left first. And that'll hurt just a little bit. Take an E, but we're still good. And I actually forgot to go this way when I was actually practicing this game, so... And we got ourselves a couple little targets. See if we can get them comboed up here. A little jumping trampoline there, which we will utilize here in a minute. Ah, that was mistimed. Drop him. And now we have our first upgrade to our magic, which is an emerald. Now we can do charge skills, and the wind skill that we have will recharge us a little bit quicker. Now, the one drawback to this game, and this was something that they did with the E3 engine, and they actually did it with the E6 engine, I'm sorry, is I have no potions, no healing items in my inventory. Everything that I get for healing comes off of drops, and there I just picked one up for 25. So yeah, there's no healing except what you get off of monster drops. So it makes... knowing when to attack and when not to, and being a little bit optimal with your movements, a little bit more precise. Let's see if I can try to get maybe another level up out of this. Yeah, I might actually have one more room where I actually have a boss fight here. Okay, no, I don't have a boss fight. That'll be coming up shortly. Been a while since I played this, I forgot about it. Okay, I remember what this is. There's the item we need to get back to our other passage that we couldn't get to when we fell into that one room. Now, as for what the root is saying, I have no clue. I have not found any translations on any guides or any wikis, so don't ask me what the root is saying. I honestly do not know. But what I can tell you is, through each playthrough, we are going to find 7 of these little guys, and they're going to help us out one way or another, as long as we have one item in our inventory. And the one item that Aru likes that we have in our inventory is the rotor fruit that we picked up 2 rooms ago. And just like that, now our weapon is a little bit stronger. We'll actually be able to increase its strength up to level 7 by the time we get to endgame. So now all the monsters that were giving us a little bit of trouble, they're going to go down just a little bit quicker now. And not only does it also increase our melee damage, but it also increases our skill damage. So all these baddies here that we were taking 4 and 5 hits to drop, nope, they're going to be starting dropping very quick. Get a few more SP because I do have one more item that I should be getting before we get to the first boss fight, which should be coming up shortly. Getting a little bit reckless there. It's alright. Picked up an herb for 10. Take a quick heal. And we'll go ahead and upgrade our first piece of armor, which only goes up 1, which is all we really need right now. And then the item that we picked up back there with the ruse, it's going to lead down into a passage. Oh, we had a crash. Why did we have a crash? That should not have crashed there. It's alright, we should always be able to restart it. And it's the nice part about Nihon and Falcom with their games is if they detect a crash, it automatically picks up where the last room was that you entered. So that is the nice part. So let's try this descent again. And hopefully it doesn't crash a second time. Okay, no crash, we're good. And this is where Unica is just so innocent of the situation. And if anybody has seen the disclosure that I opened up with at the top of the show, you're going to see why I say the language. And there you go, that's what I meant by the language. Yeah, that's going to be a little bit of a trait through most of the Falcom games. Is you will see some language like that, but all of them are for teenage mentality and above. So if you can't handle a little bit of swearing, this stream is not for you. Alright, so we have a new face. Welcome Force 45 to Force 13 Game Room. A little bit of a pause there in order to bring that up. And yes, we are getting into our first boss fight. And yes, there is a good chance I could die on this fight. So we may see a few donations make it into the project coffers, depending on how I do in this fight. I can't hit him in that state, but I can hit him there. And I've only got 86 HP, and if I'm not careful, he can hit me for 18. So I have to be very careful on how I attack him, especially when he goes into his second phase. And my turbo's nowhere near ready, so that's what makes this challenging. Another little fact is the lower your HP, the quicker your turbo goes up. But it's a risk and reward situation. You do double the damage. You take half the damage that you receive. But it is a risk versus reward scenario. Get a few combo shots in there, and there he got me. So 17 gone already. Still in good shape. Just about got him under halfway. And now he's in second form now. Still can hit me for that 17 just like he did there. But now I got two of them to contend with. And I have to avoid hitting him while he's in bat form because he does 2 to 3 damage per hit off of that as well. And there actually I just took 4. Okay, now I gotta play just a little safe here because I'm just about under a third health. I really do not want to die in this opening fight. Deflected them away. See if I can get them grouped here and do a quick double shot on them. Okay, this is starting to get dicey now. Go for broke. Alright, see if I can safely beat him the rest of the way. I'm gonna have to play it safe. Another major hit, I'm done. I might be able to play it safe. And there we go! First boss down, and normally that is one I die on. So, no money to the Force 13 coffers just yet. That key will we need later on. And the Mask of Eyes will we need. That will allow us to see a few hidden items throughout the game. And Solid Meteorology asking how do I donate. What will happen is at the end of each game, whatever amount is accumulated, I will donate through the Patreon page. Now you yourself, if you wish to donate to this cause, you can donate it to the Patreon page for Force 13. That is at patreon.com/Force13. Or if you want to support the project through other ways, maybe get a hold of some Force 13 swag. You can always find us on Teespring as well. And yes, that's why this channel still is in its infancy. No super chat or anything like that. But that is why if you guys can get your friends to subscribe, we will get up to that goal. And there are a few donations incentives. Or subscriber incentives, I'm sorry. 500 subscribers, you guys will get to see me embarrass myself on stream singing Here and Now, which Nathan has composed, so I will embarrass myself for your pleasure for that. At 750 subscribers, I do have a 16th game on my list that I will add into my rotation. And if we hit 1,000 subscribers during this 15-game series, whoever is the 1,000 subscriber will get one item of their choice, any Force 13 swag, off of Teespring. But that's for whoever the 1,000th subscriber is. Last I looked, we were only at 120, so we got a lot of subscribing to do if you want the Force 13 swag, or even just for me to embarrass myself for your amusement. But the next character we come across is Rico. Rico's actually going to be very useful to us. And already the trolls are starting. Oh, Salad, you're trying to figure out how to become the 1,000 subscriber already. But all the donations that do come out of this series are going to be donated right back into the project to help not only our coverage become better, but to help facilitate any software upgrades that the project itself needs, and possibly even maybe help fund what Nathan has been suggesting. I know some on the community on the Force 13 Discord know that Nathan is going on a European tour, and there's talks that he may be wanting to do a US tour sometime next year, so you never know. All my debts on this may help fund that, you never know. But Rico just gave us a talisman. We are going to throw that on, and that's going to help us get past the section that we got trapped at the last time. So we will go ahead and throw that on. And if you do see a little bit of screen pausing every once in a while, it's because I have to key up one of my little icons that you saw me throw up during the first boss fight. And that does cause just a little bit of delay, so I do apologize for that, but it's the only way I can really convey the situation. Now this is the room we got trapped in the last time. We have that amulet. We'll dispatch these guys right quick. And that trap is gone. Yeah, and sadly this is not Nelson that is running this. And we are met with 2 more of the exploration party. These are both knights. Ramona being on the left. It's alright. I know Nelson ran the U.S. Champion beforehand. I know it's easy to confuse us. We're both in our 30s. We both live in the South. And we both have snarky quips and retorts sometimes. So it's understandable. The difference is Nelson's a trial lawyer. I do customer service for a living. So yeah, he's definitely got the better job than I do. Just to throw another gaming reference out there, Nelson gets to be Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, where he gets to go and yell, "Objection!" But we will get through this little dialogue between the 2 senior knights. Yeah, the donation count is what I'm personally donating for all this. And yeah, you guys can donate during these as well. Again, patreon.com/Force13 is the website, and we do have some nice perks on there if you are going to donate. A $1 pledge will get you on a special tag on our Discord chat that everybody gets to see. You'll be a bright yellow on our Discord. $5 is, I believe, gives you what I call the YouTube unfair advantage, where any animations or premieres that we have, you will get to see before the rest of the public does. And $10 will allow you to have your name featured during our normal Force 13 live productions. It'll actually be shown down on the bottom screen. I know if you've seen a few productions before, you see Tropical Storm Chapstick and a few others on there. Those are $10 donators. And if you happen to reach $50 in total lifetime donations to the project, your name will then be made into a custom Storm animation of your choice. So anybody that's into Storm hypos, there's your chance to become your own hypothetical Storm. Now we are going across the top ledge here for a reason. And that is to pick up our other piece of armor that we're going to need, so we don't die as quick. And we will throw that on right quick before we get steamrolled by the next set of mobs here. And good timing too. These guys are just a little bit tough. We actually have to stun them to really do some damage to them, or hit them with a little bit of magic. Stunning works just as well, and there we go. We got a nice little heal out of that. Lost my bangs there for a sec. See, where was I supposed to go? Okay, here we go. We actually need to go this way anyways to pick up an item. Yeah, this is definitely not something that you can do a passive run on. I have to kill mobs to get levels. Otherwise, the mobs will do incredible amount of damage. And what I just picked up is pretty much the equivalent to a boss key, so we will be getting into our first major boss fight of the game. Ooh, and I have died here before. But not this time. Here we go, a little bit of heals. And right now I'm trying to keep this max XP streak going just so I can get another level before I get into this first boss fight. And as long as I'm hitting the target, I will be able to keep that built up. There we go. And there we go. There's a good level up going into this next area. And each level up also helps because each point of attack or defense I get does increase or decrease my damage by half. So where I was doing 5s and 6s on this guy before, I'm doing 11 to 14. So that's how the stats kind of stack up overall. Just clear out these last few mobs here. Okay, I did have to come over because there's a switch. A little counter, and he's dispatched. And the one thing you'll find as we go through these games that Falcom does really well, and I mean really well, is their musical compositions. As we are getting close to our first major boss fight, and you'll see what I mean by the musical compositions. They are just phenomenal with them. Ooh, nice defense cut. Okay, that takes care of those. Should have one or two more left to dispatch. Oh, two more. Oh, a couple more. Take a couple hits there, which is fine. Also, something that also happens is if you are in mid-action, it'll treat it as if you were turbo buffed, and you will take half damage that way. So we will beef up our armor, which is about all we can do right now. Take a safety save. And that was supposed to happen. Okay, let's turn off that assist. Why that came up is beyond me. Here we go. First major boss fight of the game. And yes, he hurts. A little bit of serious time here. It's a two-stage fight. Take the face out, then go him up top. This is normally a 6-cycle fight if I can get it. Get some combos in there. Need to take out the little bugs, because if he does eat those, he will heal off of those. So we'll get them out of the way first. And yeah, this might be a death, if I'm not careful. Yep, and there's the first death. Alright, so time to keep track of the deaths, and then I'll add up the donation total after this fight. There we go. Better first cycle. That's the skill I gotta avoid. That does 27 damage to me if I'm not careful. Got a good second cycle. Out of magic. And that laser beam does 13 to me if I'm not careful at this level. Alright, see if I can make this last cycle without dying. It ain't looking promising right now. Avoided it. There we go. Avoid getting eaten for 23 damage. Turbocharge and wreck him. And a level up out of it. Alright, so now the question, I'm going to pause it here. What did that just cost me? For 2 deaths? Yeah, 50 cents per death is what the going rate is. But it's a start. There you go, Nathan. If you're watching, you just got $1 out of me for 2 deaths. And now that we got the first dungeon out of the way, we're up to section 2, which is the water prison. We'll get a quick save, and we will tackle this one. This will probably be the last dungeon I do tonight, depending on how I'm looking on time. And each section offers new challenges and new monsters to deal with. And we are going to have to go left first, as there is an item we do need there. And actually, normally during that first boss fight, I'm usually right at 102 HP, so I was actually a little under-leveled, but still made it look pretty good, except for the 2 deaths. And the nice part is this particular game is not too grindy, but there will be a little bit of slight grinding here and there, whether to get SP or maybe to get another level up before I get to a certain area. And there's one of the 2 items, well, actually the main item we need is a silver bracelet. And now we can move fast, and moving fast is good. I actually have it configured to have us dash at all times once we do get it, so now we can really start moving through these dungeons. And Water Prison is set up pretty well to where if you string the mobs together very well, you can keep your XP multiplier up pretty maxed. And I think ideally we want to be right at about 140 HP by the time we get done with this area. So we'll probably pick about 3 or 4 levels out of here, if not more. We got a good multiplier coming into here. Now there are a total of 3 artifacts we'll pick up throughout our adventures with Unica. We'll pick up one here in Water Prison, and we will pick up another one in the next area called Guilty Fire. From there we'll have just about everything we need to just start massacring everything that's going to be in our way. I am still wondering who is on the F-13. I want to say that is Strat, since he said I mentioned him in Discord earlier. Now that I think about it, because I did see a squirrel in my front yard, and I did say, Strat, get off my yard, and I did put a picture of a squirrel there, so I'm guessing that is Strat on the F-13 main channel. And a new element that does get added with some of these new mobs is we can get poison. It is a temporary, so we still have to keep an eye on it. And there we go, some new armor, so that is going to help curb some of the damage we take. Still got a good multiplier going. HP's not looking too great, but we should be good. Okay, now if I keep face planting into the mobs, it's not going to be good. And the bad part is, if I take a death here, I got to go all the way back to the beginning of this level, because I have not gotten another save point between now and then. So what I can hope for is I can hope for a level up here, which is what I'm going to try for since I got a good multiplier still going. And these guys get a decent amount of XP. And there we go, we got our level up, so... We'll go around him. It's been a while since I've done the water prison. I'm trying to remember if I have to go north or east. And I want to say... it is north I gotta go. Take him out quick. And there we go. Turbo boosted, half damage. Just so we can drop him real quick before he drops us. Get the crystal. Get a nice heal, and yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll upgrade our armor while we're at it. Second fight of the game, and we go against one of the first villains, Epona. This is definitely one that I can die on. Especially when I have a cat now climbing up the side of my arm here. And I can't go straight in for an all-out melee attack like I just did there. But the Whirlwind's a little bit of a safety strat that I can use. Especially when I'm definitely getting just wrecked right now. And she throws... And yes, sadly the villains have a shield, which I don't have that luxury. That was badly timed. Luckily, most of these bosses have a certain pattern, so it's just a matter of knowing when to strike on them. Now, she hits me with her... Was not expecting that rapid fire one, so... There's another 50 cents to the project. I'll update it after this fight. try this again. Come on. Throw that big skill. There we go. Throw a couple extra hits in there for good measure. Throws her shield up. This is actually a much better fight than the last one. Not being too aggressive this time. Now there's my first miss. Come with the multiple second phase attacks. That's what got me the last time. But you're mighty, opponent. Get right. I'll let this dialogue play through, and we'll check on that next 50 cents. And if I didn't throw it out there, no, I'm not a speedrunner, no, I'm not a professional gamer, so yeah, I will make some mistakes, and yes, I will die a few times. Take the boss fight off there. We'll take another quick little pause to update everything here. And deaths and donation count will reset after each game, and I will be keeping a cumulative tally of what all I've gotten. Or what, actually not what I've gotten, what Nathan's gotten out of me. But getting past the opponent gives us the Water Dragon skills, which we will need for the rest of Water Prison. But we're not going to be able to get very far. We just get called back by Delila Shell. So far through the first 7 floors, 3 deaths, $1.50 to the project. And if either of you do have any questions to ask me about any of the games that are on my list, or any questions about me in general, you can ask them. Tag at F-13 Gaming. It'll pop up not only on my control panel screen, but in chat on screen, and I'll answer any questions you may have. So now Uniga gets to face the rest of her knights. And pretty much the search party consisted of 5 or 6 knights and 5 or 6 sorcerers from Solomon's Shrine. So that is the whole. That's the whole search party looking for the 2 goddesses. And we get to see 2 more character introductions. Cadena. I'm kind of speeding through the dialogue here a little bit, but you guys can go back through. Now, Musica is probably my favorite NPC of the game. She is really adorable and does have a crush on one of the playable characters that we'll be playing with later on. Spells of Tempering, that means more powerful weaponry later on. And sadly, this is something that does happen as the game progresses. We all get called back to the base camp to assess our situation, get new information, and to get an upgrade on our weaponry. A little incantation. And we're up another level on our axe. Now we'll be able to get 4 more level ups as we go. And we will cap out at a level 7 weapon. But now that we've gotten through that cutscene, now we can go back up. Ooh. Another crash. That has never happened to me twice like that. We gotta redo this entire dialogue again. Good lord. So I think it might have to be a donation instead of an extra 50 cents for every crash. I think that's what I would do. If I crash again, every crash after that would be another donation into the pot. Why not? Because it crashing is doing a disservice to you, the viewers. So I'll actually speed through the dialogue this time since we've already seen it once. And then we will get back to crashing the water prison while I'm dealing with a cat here that decided to crawl up and join me. And for those who have not been part of who have not viewed the project for a while, this is the new kitten that I've got just about a month ago. Her name is Scarlet. She was the new kitten that replaced Mina that I lost back in May. And yes, how can you not love that adorable face? While she's sitting here on my desk being a pest like she always is. Yeah, for those that do remember, I actually did a very heartfelt video back on May 12th. It was on my personal channel. And now I have a cat crawling across my keyboard, which is not good. Alright, come on, pretty girl. You need to go down. There you go. There aren't too many people that actually know about my personal channel, so you never know. That might be. I only have a couple videos on there. I don't have really anything else on there except for my my memorial to the last cat that I had and a few outtakes from April 9th of 2019 when I was trying to do the US update on there. But other than that, it's not really that much of a big channel, like 6-7 subscribers, so it's nothing really special. And I've got cat interference again. The kitten has decided I'm going to commandeer the keyboard and you must pay attention to me. Okay, back up on my shoulder you go then. There we go. Oh. Come on. Oh, I'm getting meowed at here. Okay, come on. Oh boy. Look who just entered the game room. Gentlemen, are we going around in circles? Are we seeing loop-de-loop? Yes, our very own David Tones has now entered the game room. And I can already imagine what he'd be saying. Yes, Tim, it's good to be on the stream. The wife and I are having a good time down here in Brisbane while we're enjoying your stream here. I'm keeping an eye on 98W and en route to Tropical Storm Barry. There's still a lot of rain going on there in the United States. Alright, we'll do another save there just so we don't have any crashes this time. And since we have the crystal, we can actually go back up to the last floor we were on, which is the 7th. And Muddy Hurricane joining the game room. The problem with Twitch is I'm not out for the views. This is something for the project. This is something I'm doing out of the love for the project. So I'm not really trying to attract a big audience. This is more just my way of kind of showing a little love back to the project for them accepting me. Okay, and I have a cat in my way again. Okay, you need to go, Sweet Pea, so I don't die here. Okay, you need to go up on my shoulder then. Okay, there's another level up. Alright, and we will throw a new item on. Do we already have it on? No, we don't. So, it's in our inventory. We will throw the water dragon scales on, because we will need those here a little bit. So now I'm trying to fight mobs, and I now have a cat trying to paw at my screen. Okay, there we go. Clear those out. Now the big mobs are going to be the biggest threat because I can't do a lot of damage to them, even with... And I'm an idiot. I am a total idiot. I got the level 3 Claria ore before it crashed, and I forgot it this time. What I will do is I will pick up that Claria ore on the way up to the boss room. And that is where that Claria, not having that Claria ore is going to hurt me. And Money Hurricane, you do make a good point about the Twitch thing. That would have to be something that we would have to reach out to Nathan directly, and that's if we really want the gaming side of the project to really thrive. I mean, first and foremost, we're going to be tropical weathers and cyclone first and foremost. This is just something that was put together just to pass the time. And that Claria, not having that Claria ore is really hurting me now. So we'll have to try for another level up here instead. Not having that Claria ore is really hurting. And I knew that was going to happen. So, another death. Let's go back and get that clearing ore this time. And you do make a good point there, Money Hurricane. Again, something like that for us to do Force 13 Gaming on Twitch, that would have to be something that Nathan himself would have to approve. And that's just not something that right now I think is really on the forefront. But we'll have to see how this series goes, and if we get any more content creators on the gaming channel. I know right now we have a really good team for US weather and tropical cyclone weather, so it's just a matter of expanding on that, especially with possibly the idea of getting Force 13 Philippines going. So now that we have this next piece of clear ore, now let's see how we do going up into this next boss area. Oh, excuse me. And yeah, that's much better. And don't worry, I have not forgotten that I have a death that I have not tacked on to the counter. I will add that on probably at the end of the stream. Want to see if we can get through the water prison first. Alright, burn through these guys. I'll eat a little bit of poison damage. And that's much smoother than the last time. Yes, a big difference of what one little piece of Clarion ore can do. Okay, now I do not have the dragon's amulet on, I can tell. So this is why we needed that dragon's amulet. Yeah, we're underwater. Without it on, I would drown. Game over, another death for the project. But that's not going to happen since we have this amulet on. Well, the next time that Nathan asks for ideas, this will definitely be something that we will pass along to him. Again, this was more of something of a trial basis, since if you look at our gaming channel, there's not really much on there, so we'll just have to really see how this particular series does. I mean, if we get the subscriber count to where the gaming channel could be a viable revenue stream to the project, then yeah, maybe we might expand it beyond that. But one step at a time. First off is to see how much reception this actually gets. Because if you look at the views that we currently have on the channel, I mean, highest views I think is from Golf with Friends, 263 views. So yeah, the gaming channel is in its infancy, so it'll definitely be something that'll be a work in progress. But yeah, as I was just discussing that, we have changed a little bit of venues here, going through the water prison. Pretty much the last half of this is all going to be underwater. Those guys I'm not going to be able to touch just yet, so we will work our way around them. All these mobs here I'm not going to be able to touch just yet until we get our next item. But even though I do have the water dragon pendant on, I still can take some damage, so we will work our way around these. And yes, Money Hurricane, you do make a good point about don't be surprised if views don't pick up. That's fine. It's not really about the views, it's more about the entertainment value of doing this. And you never know. I mean, and the reason why this channel was made in the first place is because Nathan and I and a few others have discussed it, that it was found that some of our members are also gamers, so why not make a gaming channel? But we are going to be going down into the watery depths of this chasm here while not trying to make a Unica shish kebab. There is 2 items here we're going to be going after. The first one is coming up, and that is some new armor. Get some oxygen back. We'll actually throw that piece of armor on right quick, just in case we do happen to catch ourselves on a few spikes. Pick up another root of fruit. Which we will need that root of fruit just a little bit later on. Avoid that mob for right now. And we are going down into the deepest depths to pick up the second artifact that we're going to need. And now we have our second specialty skill, which we will end up using here just a little bit. That's if I don't kill Unica in the process trying to get out. Try to make it back with half the breath I have left. And the monsters that we couldn't touch before, we will be able to destroy them now with this new Warhammer. And this Warhammer actually has a dual purpose. Not only does it take out enemies that we can't hit before, but it also can act like a shield from some damage, so that will be very useful when we get into later boss fights. We'll actually be able to deflect some damage away from us. I believe we have one more target up here somewhere. There it is. Quick disposal of those turtles. And while we were also in that room, we also got our boss key for the next area. I believe we should get a topaz somewhere in this area as well, as we're descending up. Pick up another Celcetian Panacea. Get our much needed 3 HP there. And the route is just up there to the north. We will get over to him here in a minute. See if I can pull these guys without them destroying me. There we go. And we're actually right on track. I figured right about 140 HP. We should still get 1 topaz. I'm actually come out just a little ahead if I can keep my multiplier up. We'll just clear all these mobs right quick for some much needed XP. Alright, those are dispatched, and now we can get down here to the rear, which we will keep our XP multiplier going back through, so that'll help us get a little bit extra XP going into the next couple areas. And there's our topaz, so now our Thunderbolt Crash is a little bit stronger, and it's really going to be useful going into the next boss fight. Let's see if we can get back and keep our multiplier going. Yes, we did. And looking at how the time is looking, we will probably clear the rest of Water Prison, and that will probably wrap up for tonight. But we'll see how much the boss decides to give me trouble. As we are actually just about up to the boss fight. And there's that guard I was talking about with the bolt crash. This is going to get a little dicey. And those are dispatched. Get a heal. Let's see what else can we pick up here. We'll take an herb increase. That will increase all our healing now by 25%. Which will be very useful as we get into the upper tiers. And I'll just go ahead and throw it up there. We're getting into the second major boss fight, so it's not going to be any secret on this one, since we got the boss key earlier. And this arthropod can only be really damaged by the electric hammer that we picked up outside of melee attacks, but right now we're going to be using the hammer to do as much damage as we can on his head and body, as those are his weak points. And now we can start going to town on the rest of his body. A good guard there. Laser caught us, so that puts us at half health now. And I have to be careful about those. Those do poison damage. I use the hammer mainly now to deflect damage away while I'm taking out the back edge of it. Get 3-4 hits off, and now I gotta avoid this, or this will be some major damage. This fight so far is looking just a little sloppy from what I'm used to doing. Still not a bad fight, but I'd like for my HP just be a little bit better situation than where it is. That was... That's 2 deaths pending, and we're gonna try this again. And if I remember right, on my first time ever playing through, the arthropod was my toughest fight to take down. Primarily because I didn't have a really good strategy for it. I always tried to start from the back, then work forward, and that just created more issues overall. So now I go from the front to the back. While avoiding getting hit by the head or its laser beams. Alright, poison damage, that's not too bad. And I actually got a great first round out of that. I'm not going to get a great second round if I keep missing. There we go. Oh, straight into the death wheel. Not what I wanted. Keep the poison damage away. Nice part is I can still do damage once, not in the flame mode, so that's a little bit extra that I don't have to worry about once it comes out of its cycle. Get some early damage while it's unraveling. Just about 2/3 of the way done. And that laser beam again. So what is that now? 3 deaths? Not a great opening off the start. Got a very bad opening. There we go. Decent first round, I can deal with that. Get a good turbo. A little bit better shape going into the death wheel first time through. Attacked from the wrong side, be able to get any extra damage on it. There we go. Don't think I hit it that time, but it's coming off of its unravel. Go turbo. It's right near the end of the fight where it gets dicey because of that laser beam all the time. And now we're in overtime. I wanted to be done with this fight by 11. That's not happening. Got a little bit better avoids that time. That round is actually going a lot better. See if I can keep the momentum going. Right straight into a death roll. But I got a great strike off of it before it actually got into its death roll, so I'll eat the 10 damage for that extra damage I just did to it. Couple great hits there. And coming into the unraw in phenomenal shape. Just gotta avoid the lasers right now. Okay, poison I can eat. Oh, guarded by the hammer. Alright, now it's down to just its head. HP looks great. I do have my turbo available. I'll eat the couple hits there. And there we go. And we get a level up out of it. So, Water Prison is now dispatched. 2 bosses down. Take the boss fight tag off. We'll get a save. And that is where we're going to end our coverage tonight. We will be starting this series again on Tier 3, Guilty Fire. So that has been everything for tonight here on F-13 Gaming. I hope you enjoyed it. If you really enjoyed it, be sure to drop a like and subscribe. Leave some comments. You can sit there and have fun laughing at the fact that I died 7 times tonight for a total of $3.50 going into the F-13 coffers. So that has been F-13 Gaming tonight. Have a good night, and I'll see you guys on the US channel tomorrow morning for the Tuesday morning update. Have a great night.